Beautiful souls, welcome back or welcome to the Hawk. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always in all my videos, all you got to do is take what resonates and leave the rest straight here. I had a member post a really good question over on my Facebook page. And that question was, Lana, why is there more spirit activity or paranormal activity at night? Doesn't spirit know this is more scary? And it is a really good question, and it has a few answers. So I thought I would dive into this question today because I love, as you all know, I love being the voice of spirit. I also like to clean some things up for spirit, some perhaps a little bit of bad reputations, if you will. Yeah, she's 100% right. Spirit activity does seem to be at an increase at nighttime. And why is this? So just for a moment, I would like you to just visualize an airport landing strip on the top of your head. Just close your eyes and just visualize that for a moment. There is a landing strip on top of my head for planes to land. Okay. Now, you get to choose what planes land in your airport. You also get to choose when your airport is open. Okay, we got that? Perfect. Now, when it comes to nighttime, we tend to be more open to receiving spirit activity. My airport is pretty much open 24/7 with a few little boundaries in there for spirit. But I can go to a place, whether it be daytime or nighttime, and pick up on the exact same amount of spirit activity, because I'm open to receive it, and I'm also open to receive very specific things from the spirit dimensions. I only work in the light, right? Okay. Now, most paranormal activity seekers go out at night for a few reasons. Number one, there is a hope of catching spirit on a camera. And because spirit is light, usually they show themselves with light or with some kind of movement or shadows. It's easier quite often, if you're going to pick up spirit activity, to pick it up at nighttime. Number two, we have been programmed a little wee bit on the scary side of things. Just think about for a moment, most movies, things happen at night. Somebody goes for a walk at night, or somebody gets up in the middle of the night. So we go into this with a decision on what kind of plane we want to have land in our airport. We go in with, oh, it feels scary. Oh, it's dark out. Oh, something bad might happen to me. So we're deciding when to open our airport and what kind of plane can land in there. So even though spirit, you may have Casper, the friendly ghost himself, coming to visit you at night, but if you've decided that the airplane that's going to land is going to be scary, you're going to interpret Casper, the friendly ghost visit, as being something scary. Our mind is a big piece of this. What our thoughts and how we perceive things is extremely, extremely important. The other part of this is at nighttime, especially when we're sleeping or just relaxing, what happens is we often become more awake in our mind. We become more allowing. We don't have as many thoughts running through there. So spirit has an opportunity to visit. And this is why a lot of deceased loved ones come at nighttime or come during dream time, because we don't have our brain working with other things keeping us distracted, or we don't have our brain kicking in to put, like, alter the thoughts of this isn't real, or how this can be happening, or even sometimes belief systems. Our brain will kick in and say, well, you don't really believe in a deceased loved one coming to visit you, so you're not going to receive them during the day. You're going to receive them when your brain is sleeping and they have an opportunity to come in and visit. Now, does spirit know what time it is? That was the other question that I was asked. Does spirit know what time it is? There is no time in the spirit dimensions. They don't have an understanding of it. Time is a physical world thing. They tap into us based on what we're willing to receive from them, which is why the nighttime visitations. It's quiet, our minds are quiet, and we're able to come in. Now, I have a rule with spirit because I have many boundaries when I work with the spirit dimensions. I have a rule with them. I make myself available, let's say just from 9 to 5. Let's just say that's what I'm working with spirit. I make myself available from 9 to 5. During that time frame that I am available, that my airport is open, I will sit very still, very quiet my mind, and I'll say, what do we need to talk about? Is there anything that you need to tell me? I also close my airport when I need to. When I'm going to bed is one of them for me, because I need to rest. So I will shut down my airport and I simply say to spirit, I will hit the punch clock tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'll see y'all then. And that's how come I don't get woken up. Took me a very long time to figure that out. As simple as it is just saying I'm shutting down. It took me a long time to figure that out for a few reasons. Number one, I always wanted to be available. Spirit wants to talk, I want to be available. And I started to get a little bit burned out that way because they were waking me up in the middle of the night because my mind was quiet. So I figured out that if I quiet my mind during the day, give them an opportunity to talk and to do some channeling and to do some work with them, and I put in the boundary, okay, I'm off duty now, I don't get bothered in the middle of the night unless I can't sleep and I get up and talk to spirit. I also, I'm very visual when it comes to my mediumship, and I'm also a very visual learner. I have been my whole life, very visual learner. So when I was learning to shut down, connecting to the spirit dimensions at night, what I did was I took a piece of paper and I drew a light switch. And I just labeled it my connection to the spirit dimensions. And every night before bed, I would literally walk up to that light switch and I would literally pretend to shut it off. I would visualize me shutting off that connection to the spirit dimensions because I need to sleep and I need to be rested. And it's part of my self-care to get lots of rest so that I can work with the spirit dimensions during the day. We're programmed with a lot of different seeds that get planted over our lifetime. And depending on what we've watered, the seeds that we've watered and the belief systems that we have, quite often that will be the experience that we have within the spirit dimensions. So, I always say, take a look at what's growing in your spiritual garden. And if there's anything that doesn't resonate with you anymore, you need to kind of plant something else. I don't plant fear in my garden when it comes to the spirit dimensions, so I don't experience fear. And if I do have something creep in, I just simply remind myself, no, that's not my truth. That's not my truth. Just for a little example, if I was to do a nighttime walk under the full moon, and if I suddenly brought in, maybe a visualization of a movie that I once saw where something bad happened under a full moon, I will just simply remind myself that no, I'm walking with the gods of the forest here. I'm walking with the angelics, because our thoughts can trickle in there to create that fearful environment. Now, working with spirit and being very much aware of the spirit activity that I get the same amount of spirit activity day or night. People who may come with me to experience communication with spirit, whether it be day or night, their interpretation of how spirit feels. So, for example, you may feel a spirit around you, and where does your mind go? Even where does your mind go? And that's one thing that I say to people when I'm channeling. Where does your mind go? What does it feel like? And we need to tap into more of that, into more possibilities of the love and the light and the angelics. Where does your mind go with that? Because our mind is our thoughts are so powerful. It determines our interpretation of what's going on. So, is spirit activity at an increase at nighttime? That's when most people like to go out and look for it, because it has that element of excitement. It has that element of something maybe a little bit fearful. It's not so much spirit themselves because they are always around. They're always around, and they're always leaving us signs, and they're always willing to chat. It's how we align to them and how we're receiving that. And with the locations that I've been going to, most of the locations that I go to, I do go during the day. And it has nothing to do with the nighttime or me being afraid of the night. Is I'm not going to deliver spirit in that way. I don't want to deliver the whole fear factor. I'm in a dark place and it's really scary. For me, that's not what spirit wants me to do with how I connect with them, because they don't want to be perceived like that. They want to be perceived as the light beings that they are. I do hope that that makes a little bit of sense to you, and I would love to hear your opinions on this video and about spirit activity at night. And does this clear things up for you? Does it help you understand that our thoughts can create a different mindset? Remember your airport up here. When is it open? When is it closed? And what kind of planes do you allow to land in there? As always, I am wishing you love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day.